Welcome to this edition of the Weekly Dose. Challenge your perspective. This is Patrick Dare in Washington, D.C. Following the disputed election, there was high expectation that there would be violence. That did not happen, and Kenyans deserve big praise for that. They waited patiently, and even after the verdict came through the Supreme Court ruling, they accepted it, even though begrudgingly from a lot of the Kenyans. But it has been accepted that there was an election, there was a loser, there was a winner. But it seems there's such an undercurrent which is really manifesting itself in the most heinous, the most despicable way through the internet. Of particular site is Bunge la Mwananchi. This is a site that I believe whoever created it meant for it to be a place for discourse, a place to exchange ideas, a place to discuss issues in whichever form one thought about it. Express yourself. I don't think for 1 minute that the creator of this site meant for people to go in there and hurl abuses at each other. I look at this page and sometimes I wonder, where is the youth headed? It is always said that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But if anything is to be interpreted from the kind of language that is spewed through this site, then I'm afraid for our country, Kenya. The youth from all sides are hurling abuses at each other. They're insulting each other. There's no discussion of positivity that moves a topic forward. They're calling each other names in the most unimaginable way. We must accept that we all come from different cultures. We are brought up differently. We appreciate different things. But one thing that is common in humanity and common with all the Kenyans is that every family, every individual has the same aspiration for themselves, for their families. They want to succeed just like the next person. They want their kids to go to school just like the next family does. But this issue of region support for some political person or party is being taken too far. Yes, politics is about difference of opinion, difference of ideology. You elect somebody that you think will bring some value to you. But just because they're winners and losers, the two sides must not continue this day in, day out of disrespecting each other. Now, you and I, the common Mwananchi, these leaders don't know you as a person. They could care less about you as a person. You will not have more food on the table just because you had the worst type of vitriol against the other side. It will not bring employment to you if you're unemployed. It will not give you that school fees to go to school if you're looking to advance your studies. This hurling abuses and insult against each other needs to stop. It has gone too far. The people that are in this site, Bunge la Mwananchi, you need to stand down. You need to reflect on, what am I saying? What am I saying to a fellow Kenyan? Right? We're different. We all brought up differently. I'll tell you about myself. I'm Luo. But I know more of Rift Valley than I know of Nyanza. I was born in Eldoret, went to school in Eldoret, later went to Iten. I know about Iten, I know about Singore, I know about Bugar, about Tambach, more than I know about Homa Bay, more than I know about Migori, more than I know about Bondo. I've only passed through Bondo. Most of my friends growing up are friends from all other places. I only left Rift Valley, the Iten area, to go to college. And I don't know whether that maybe gives me the right to say that we should look at every individual Kenyan as an individual and not just a tribe or speaks a different language. We need to see each other as Kenyans. I'm sure there's a Kikuyu somewhere who grew up in Nyanza, went to school in Nyanza. I'm sure there's a Kisi somewhere who went in school in Coast, or a Coast person that went school up country, and have friends all over. In college, we have friends from all over. At the estates where you live, your neighbor is Kalenjin, your neighbor is a Griama, your neighbor is a Maasai, your neighbor is a Luya. And that's what Kenya is. We must look within us and say, the election is over. The leaders are there to serve us. As a matter of fact, as you are busy fighting and hurling abuses at each other and insult at each other, you elected members of parliament are busy trying to fill their pockets. And what do? You miserable self? Spending time on Facebook and abusing each other. And these people don't know you. I'm sure you're passionate about Uhuru Kenyatta, about William Ruto. You're passionate about Raila Odinga. But are they passionate about you? You should be spending time putting fire under their feet to serve you, to serve Kenyans. Putting fire under the MPs to serve you and to serve all Kenyans. Because when the whole collective Kenya advances, Kenya is better. When a Luo person advances and finds a job or has a business, when a Griama somewhere can feed their child, when a Turkana somewhere can feel secure in their own home, when a Meru somewhere can have that harvest and have a market value for what their produce is. And when a Kalenjin somewhere can harvest that maize and find a good market for it, sell it to a Luo, sell it to a Luya. That's what Kenya is. We are advancing each other. But we must stop this nonsense about being enemies in perpetuity. And election after election, we recycle the same vitriol against each other, either by violence or right now, as it is. The youth spending so much time, and I'm not sure it's only the youth, spending so much time abusing each other on the internet, on Facebook, on Bunge la Mwananchi. This Bunge la Mwananchi should be a place where we are discussing how we can better ourselves. We can have an honest debate about the differences that we had about the election. That is something we can do. I'm not saying that we cannot be passionate about what our stand is. That you voted for Jubilee, you can be passionate about that. You can be passionate that you voted for CORD, and that you're passionate about Raila Odinga, and you're passionate about Ruto, and you're passionate about Kenyatta. That in itself is okay. But when we start totally being disrespectful to each other as a people, then we are really following a path that we shouldn't. We must look inside and say that we are all Kenyans. And no matter our difference, we are family, we fight, we get on with our lives. We hug each other. That is my perspective. What's yours? This is the weekly dose, challenging your perspective. Signing off, Patrick Dare. May God bless Kenya.